Here's what happened. Last night, Adriana and I watched the movie Burn. Main character is Bradley Cooper, and he's a chef who's going for his third Michelin star. There's this scene where he reflects back. He's prepping for moving towards that goal, but he has a moment of reflection. And he's talking to someone about early on in his career, how he wanted it so badly for that success. And then he got it too early and didn't know how to hold on to it. And so he tried to control everything. And then ultimately, how he says it, he fucked it all up. And it's like, I know I can relate to that. I believe that you can relate to that too, because it is a rite of passage to have these moments that come up for these mistakes as you're building this business for yourself and as you're moving towards the vision you want for your quality of life. And so these thoughts will be there. But what I want to share with you is a visualization technique that I learned that can interrupt those thoughts and save you time so that you aren't being drained by those thoughts for your momentum, where it gets to the point where you stay stuck and then you settle. Because I don't want that for you. And I believe you being here, you don't want that for yourself. This is Make Burnout Extinct. I'm Robert David Weeks. Thank you for being here. Welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. And if you haven't done it yet, you can subscribe and follow the show for the latest episodes. My commitment to you is to be honest with you of setting the expectations of what it takes to make burnout extinct and to help you to not settle in this area of life and reminding you that it absolutely is possible for you to make burnout extinct, to listen to the signals from the body, from your body, and then be able to make those adjustments and changes to the behavior and to the habits that that are happening in your day and that you're doing. So let's get into it. Today, what I want to talk about is the visualization technique that I learned. It's involving an imaginary lemon, and I want to get into that. But before I do, I want to talk about this burnout beast, is how I think about it. The burnout beast, I imagine like if you've ever seen Lord of the Rings, like a Smeagol talking in my head, where you have these thoughts that can come up and these thoughts that can be disempowering. Going back to past mistakes, that's where then fear can bubble up, anxiety can come up, this overwhelm. And there's these thoughts that can keep you stuck and then drain your momentum, where you settle or you say like, it's not actually possible for me to go after what I really want, what helps to make me feel alive. And that burnout beast is trying to drag you back to hitting a one-way ticket to hitting burnout. And I have realized in my own life and through this work that there's a lot of effort in keeping yourself stuck. There is a lot of exhaustion that can happen when you hold yourself back from either expressing yourself fully in this business or fully in life with people that you really care about, being able to share who you truly are or the challenges that you're dealing with. Like there is so much tension and pressure that can build from that. And so what I think about with this is the burnout beast is going to have these thoughts coming through. But not all of your thoughts, even though they may be very powerful, they're not always true. And this lemon technique is going to be able to show you that. And this is a short-term strategy that you can apply in your day right after this for using this to interrupt those thoughts when they happen, for these disempowering thoughts that can cause you to stay stuck and have a disempowering fear being in the driver's seat. But when you interrupt this, I want to also go deeper for you for the long-term strategy. And I've talked about the pressure balloon, the broken swing model before, but I want to reinforce it here because that's that long-term strategy. But before, let's get into the short-term strategy. That is the lemon technique. So it's helpful if you can like have a space where you're not going to get interrupted and kind of focus on this. You could try to do this while working out, or I mean, not, like if you're like running, that'd probably be the best thing is running, walking with this, because you're going to need your hand. So what I want us to do together is we're going to get present, because I know you've had a lot of shit and challenges coming up in your day, especially as you're building this business. It comes with the territory as an entrepreneur. There's a lot of stuff going on. And then you got a lot afterwards you got to deal with. So this is a moment to take a deep inhale through the nose. Going to exhale it out through your mouth, get settled in. So let's do this together. Inhale. All right. And then you can release it out. Woo. There you go. You can even shake it out a little bit. I like doing that. Oh, nice. Okay. Now, what I'd like you to do is, depending on which hand is dominant for you, put your hand out that's dominant. So for me, it's my left hand. And then you're going to imagine that how would your hand be if you were holding a lemon? You've sliced a lemon in half. You're holding that lemon. How would that be? And what I want you to imagine is slowly, I know this is going to sound silly. I know, but trust me on this, okay? What you could notice even right now is you could notice different sensations around the sides of your mouth, okay? And if you feel like you're not in the moment present right now, you have maybe tornado thoughts happening, or like you got to think about projects you got to do after this time listening to this podcast, or you got certain things in your immediate environment that you're dealing with right now. Pause this, come back to it, okay? When you have that space. Now, if you're present, all right, imagine that lemon in that hand, holding it, and then imagine you're bringing that lemon close to your mouth, and you're going to take a bite into that lemon. Just like that. Ooh. Now, what I want you to do is right here, pause and notice what's happening in your body. You may have noticed different sensations on the side of your mouth, like tinglings a little bit. You may even felt like a sourness, as if you were eating if you noticed that sour taste, like that could come through. But something changed. The thing is, though, there's no lemon. It's imaginary. It's not there. And so your thoughts are absolutely powerful, but not always true for the reality. And that's really important to remember when you get hit with these thoughts that can drain your momentum. When you're in it and you're dealing with the different tasks in the business, or someone lets you down, that's not being able to get back to you with email, or you have a miscommunication that happens, and then you've now have to figure out how to deal with that situation that's coming up, or you had a piece of content that you wanted to put out on social media that really you felt shared your vision for what you want, or for what you're doing in this business, or the mission you wanted to share that, and then it just doesn't land. Like they misunderstand it, and then you have these thoughts that start coming up, or the expectations don't get met for the results that you wanted this month in building this business, and then how it impacted your own quality of life. So then you have more thoughts that can come up of what that says about you, of like, oh man, I knew you couldn't stick with the goals that you had set out to accomplish. So there's no way you can actually handle this and stay in this thing and continue to build this business. Like, you're not cut out for this. These thoughts come up. Like, you're not alone in that. And I want to remind you that I've had plenty of those since starting my first business over a decade ago. They come with the territory of being in this thing. It's remembering that you're tapping into a lot of courage of just deciding to go on this path in the first place of building a business. But what this lemon technique does is it interrupts those thoughts and helps you to have a moment you can imagine stepping back and being on a park bench, and then being able, let's say you're at a park bench, you have a highway right in front of you. You got these cars that are going by. Imagining all those cars going by as your thoughts, right? They're just all over there, and you can notice them, you can observe them, and figure out which ones are serving you and empowering you, and which ones are disempowering you and causing fear to be in the driver's seat. And this technique, you can come back to it, repeat it for yourself, but it's a quick one. What I want to now get into are two of those feelings. There are two other visuals to help you to reinforce this lemon technique and the impact that your thoughts can have. And you might as well leverage it and use it in a way that's going to support you and help you to move forward towards the vision you have and make it feel like you're winning. Like that, I've never thought like one of these thoughts there. I never had the feeling with a thought that's draining my momentum of like, oh geez, fuck yeah, I'm pumped. This is here. This is going to be so helpful for me. Like, this is going to absolutely support me. No, it's like, how can I release this thought? What is this trying to tell me to move forward? And like, I don't want this right now. So it's really important to remember that, yeah, not all the time are you going to be on track towards the goals and towards the vision, but you can prepare yourself for when you get off track with the thoughts that can drain your momentum. And so there's two visuals that you can that we're going to go through here together that can help you to reinforce feelings for yourself. Noticing different feelings and sensations in the body to be able to help you to notice what thoughts can connect to those sensations in your body so that you can say, oh, this is actually an empowering thought. This thought, let me focus on this and notice where that's going to take me. And then there's another visual that can help you to understand what it's like to have fear in the driver's seat. So for this one, it's fear in the driver's seat, where what is it that's disempowering for thoughts and that's constricting? It feels tense. I'm closed in. Because then when you can start to attach those feelings to the thoughts to then the feelings, you can notice which ones to start working on. And yes, it'd be great to have amazing mastery right off the start where you don't even get attached emotionally to the thoughts that are disempowering, but that's not reality. I mean, especially if you've never experienced this before for sensations in the body, or even realize that this is possible to be able to do. Because it feels like I think about it as Star Wars and Jedi. It's like Jedi work here. It's remembering that it's a process where you gotta accept where you're at, but that where you start isn't gonna be where you end up. So with the visual, the first one I want you to reflect on, and we're actually gonna take a deep breath in through the nose and then release it out through the mouth so you can get settled in, is gonna be imagining hanging out with your best friend. Okay. So together, let's do a deep inhale through the nose and then release it out through the mouth. Okay. Settled in, hanging out. And now imagine hanging out with your best friend. If you want, you can close your eyes. But imagine, what are you all doing? Maybe a best friend they hadn't seen in a long time. Someone that you go for a hike with, go to the arcade, play some video games. You're going to dinner, having that time to spend dinner. Maybe headed out to the beach, going paddle boarding, going for a run, a workout. But notice what is happening in your body. And as you can continue to deep inhale and then exhale it out, getting settled in, reflecting, feeling, noticing. And it might be tough at first, so it's like continue to put those repetitions in. It takes repetition to become familiar with this and to then connect to those different emotions that can come up, because it is subtle. It doesn't just come right at you. It may, and you may be lucky, which is awesome. But usually, I know for me at first, it's like you got to get used to this. But what may be coming up for you is the feeling of safety, of like the shoulders drop. You feel open. You feel like you kind of like want to maybe even roll the shoulders a little bit. You might even yawn. I'm yawning right now. But all these signals from the body that are helping you to feel open, safe. You feel relaxed. You're not thinking every single word or overthinking every single word. Like you're able to just communicate and like talk about what's been happening in your life. You get to go back to the jokes that you both really like bonding on. You talk about different interests, ask how their life is, really listen to them. You feel safe. And then as you continue to breathe in and breathe out, take a moment to think about what it's like to run the business like this. You can have certain thoughts, and I get into the deeper level of thoughts that we're talking about for the long-term strategy, the beliefs that you have about work. It's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be intense and a grind. And yes, it is. Because as you grow and you become familiar, you go into new levels of growth where you're not familiar, those sensations can come up. But it's remembering for the body and for your emotions, they are temporary. And so yes, not all the time are you going to feel like it's hanging out with the best friend as you're running the business, but reflecting back on even on the past week, how many times did you really connect to this feeling as you're building the business? What were the activities that you're doing, the thoughts that were coming up? And remember this. You can take a moment to write this out if you like, to journal. But this is so important because you're creating connection. And so you're literally building out a whole new strategy where if you feel these sensations in the body, the signals from the body, you can, with certain thoughts that are coming through, you can remember this is an empowering thought. This can actually help me with my momentum of I am capable of being able to go up on stage and share my mission. I am able to serve this amount of clients in this month. I am able to create systems that actually feel like I'm feeling supported by this business rather than like just putting in the hours and shit's not working out. Or you say, I'm moving towards that, right? It's a possibility. But that's safety. Now, taking another deep inhale in together, release it out through the mouth. Let's bring it back to this other visual, for the disempowering fear in the driver's seat. Because I think fear can be used in a helpful way. Fear of regret can help push you into moving through the fear, tapping into the courage to step up on stage if you've never been on stage, but you have a desire to want to do that, to share your mission, or to actually go out there for the sale or market and be seen. So this is where I think of disempowering fear in the driver's seat. The fear of like, you're a failure. There's no way you can do this. You're not cut out for this. So as you continue to breathe in and breathe out, what I want you to visualize is being in the principal's office in middle school. This is the one that comes up for me. Principal's office, middle school. I am feeling constricted. My stomach is tight. I'm hunched over. I'm tense. I don't want to fucking be here right now. I'm also scared. I'm like, I don't want my parents to know what the hell happened. And so it's noticing what are those signals from your body that are coming through. And then journaling it, writing it out, taking notes, bullet point it. As you continue to breathe in and breathe out, this is going to be helpful for the strategy to know which thoughts are disempowering. Because the more you understand about your body and those thoughts, less fear grows. And so I never get excited when disempowering fear comes into the driver's seat. I have now been able to, instead of saying stuck in that, done my best, and I'm not perfect, nobody's perfect, but done my best to channel curiosity as to why the hell is this fear here? What's the belief underneath it that I need to address and get out of the driver's seat? But no one's super pumped up like, hell yeah, I got my disempowering fear here in the driver's seat. So it's important for you to recognize that sensation and the signals. I'm switching between sensations and signals, but think about them as the signals. There are these signposts from your body. They don't have to be stop signs. As you continue to breathe in and then breathe out, this is a moment for you to then celebrate. Okay? Come back into the space. You can open up your eyes if your eyes were closed and celebrate. I physically celebrate. How I do it is I tap both my shoulders, raise my arms up, and I go, yeah. That's how I do it. You can do a head nod, fist bump in the air, celebrate, because it reminds the body of two things. One, you want more of this. So you want to be able to master the communication with your body. Understand this so that less fear grows. And you can actually move towards feeling like you're winning more in the day and building more momentum. And then it can be a way for the body to release dopamine, the internal reward, that reinforces you want more of this. It's exciting to understand, to learn, to know the communication with your body on such a subtle level. This isn't just something that the average person knows. I really hope it gets to that point where more people understand this. But this is that next level. And so celebrating will be really important every time you do that lemon technique and you interrupt the thoughts. Celebrate, going back to the physical movement. And so the game plan is looking at long-term, short-term, you have the lemon technique. Long-term It's reflecting after you can interrupt those thoughts and have a moment to be on the park bench and noticing those thoughts. Now, the other question to ask yourself is, what is the belief underneath this thought that is that is causing disempowering fear to be in the driver's seat? Because what's happening is, you can imagine when you experience disempowering fear, it can fill up a pressure balloon in the body. And so your body can handle a certain amount of these pressure balloons, that pressure signal, before it has to release it. And one way it can release it, which I don't want for you, is hitting burnout. You get in that point where the body's like, all right, we got to release it. That happens. I don't want that. I want you to be able to release these pressure balloons consciously. And how you think about it is popping these pressure balloons. But we have these beliefs that are disempowering for us, that don't serve us anymore, that are old beliefs that were there to help us with certain patterns in our life early on, that don't serve us as you're building this business and wanting to move towards the vision you have for the quality of life. Like, one could be the belief that you actually can't handle this, that you're not cut out for this, that people are going to figure out that you're a fraud, and that you actually don't know what the hell you're doing. Those thoughts come up. And so then it's that belief system that's there. One that I had for me was, I'm not smart enough to talk about this stuff. Like, that's a disempowering belief. How the hell is that going to serve me towards actually sharing this with you and moving towards it? So that's where then this broken swing model comes in, right? To be able to pop that big pressure balloon of that belief and release that stress out. Because that, for me, that one was built up on years. How you can think about it is, when you have a belief, one of those old beliefs that is causing these thoughts to come in that are draining your momentum, it's like swinging on it's like hanging onto a broken swing with just one chain, where it's just one belief. You try to swing forward, try to build the habits that are going to help you. Maybe the habit is getting the workout in so that you can take care of your health and feel more energized and channel that energy towards business. But if you're constantly having this belief that is so hard to get fit while you're building the business, it's going to constantly be hard to get fit and build the business. That's where you just stay stuck in this loop and not make any real progress for yourself. And so that's like swinging forward for the momentum, but then you're going to swing back. And that's natural for the body. It's trying to create balance for the nervous system is trying to create balance for you. So you'll swing forward, you'll create that momentum, but then naturally you swing back because of that old belief is there. And you'll swing back no matter what. But when you can actually have a new belief that you can focus on, it can help you to feel more stable in the swing by having now two chains. One chain for the old belief, one chain for the new belief, and then you're holding on to each one. And now you're starting to decide which belief is going to be in the driver's seat for your life moving forward in this specific area. And so when it comes to these thoughts, it could be around your health and saying, okay, I can't, it's so hard for me to work out. The new belief could be, it's possible for me to get fit as I'm building the business. That's the new belief. And so now it's figuring out what is the habit that's going to help me to change which belief is in the driver's seat. And so for that particular situation, so it could be, hey, I'm actually just going to take 5 minutes to work out 5 days a week to get started for that momentum and to reinforce this belief that I can get fit as I'm working on the business, because you got 5 minutes. You can absolutely do this. And so that's where the at least technique comes in, where you can tell yourself, at least you're going to get started with 5 minutes. And you can keep it open if you have 20 minutes available, but at least you're going to get those 5 minutes in. And that's going to be the rep for the habit that reminds you that you can have this new belief be in the driver's seat, which is, I can get fit as I'm building the business. And then over time, as you put more repetitions in, and as you swing forward for that momentum, you're still going to swing back. You're still going to have the moments where you get angry or frustrated or you get off track. But then you understand what's going on, which is your nervous system is coming back into balance. And with a new belief, you can expand your capacity for growth and to help sustain those changes. And the key is to start small for the habit and putting in those repetitions. And that's where that at least technique can become really helpful. Where over time, as you're swinging back and forth and creating, helping the nervous system to get familiar with the new belief, once that happens, then you can feel safe in that new belief. Where you can imagine it's like jumping off the swing. You're like, all right, I'm done with this specific area. Now on to the next one. Maybe the next one is you want to be able, now that you know that it's possible for you to be fit or to get fit as you're building the business. Now it could be, hey, I want to be able to focus on my nutrition now as I'm building the business. Or it's a combination of the two. Whatever the strategy is for you, you can start to create a solid foundation for these new belief systems to move forward, where you're changing how you're showing up for yourself, for the people in your life. You're able to move forward with more confidence. You can create more energy and you can win more in your day. And all of that can help to move you forward towards the vision you have for this business, how the business is going to support then the vision you have for your quality of life. And because it's remembering that your business is just one part of your life. It's not everything. And so it's remembering your body already knows the truth. It's your choice to listen and change your response. And so it's remembering you got the short-term strategy, interrupt the thought as a recap with a lemon technique. Then when you have that space to be able to look at, to observe the thoughts, what is the belief that is causing these thoughts in the first place? That old disempowering belief that is causing disempowering fear to be in the driver's seat. Then you remind yourself, what is a new belief that you can bring in to your life, that you can then have a habit that you establish that is a reminder of you being on the swing, where you now are able to move forward, swing back, but you're getting your body to your nervous system to become familiar with the new belief. So then eventually you can jump off that swing and then move on to the next one, the next broken swing, and the next one and the next one, and continue to grow. And that's where I believe fulfillment comes in is through that growth. Through moving on this adventure of life towards what's possible for you. Tapping into more of that potential and expressing that out into the world. And expressing that out for yourself. It's such a beautiful gift because how you show up changes. And that confidence that grows and that you are able to tap into more for your life is a priceless gift. So if you haven't heard it yet today, I want to remind you that you have the capabilities to listen to these signals from your body and to make the adjustments and changes to the behavior and to the action, or behavior and the habits. And I believe in you. You have that capacity within you. And reminding yourself that these nearly 40 trillion cells in your body are on your team, there to support you, to move towards what you want for the vision in this business and for your own quality of life. You got this.